And I've noted the dissenting judgment, and which is giving hope, and especially those constitutional court judges who have also delivered their judgment, and it gives hope as well that they've taken note of the standpoint of the public protector. And thank you so much, and we will study the judgment and we will comment further on the elements of the judgment. Thank you.
Public protector, they say you told falsehood under oath. Doesn't get more serious than that for an advocate.
I never told falsehood under oath. All the documents, we will study the judgment, and we will also study what is the reasoning behind that, because our papers were very clear what transpired during the process.
But they say you can't appeal this.
I know quite well, and you should understand that there is a majority judgment, there's a dissenting judgment, and all of the elements will be taken into consideration. And I think, can you give me an opportunity to study the documentation so that we'll be able to respond comprehensively to this matter.
But when they say you acted in bad faith, and this is the Constitutional Court, the apex court, does it not mean that perhaps it justifies the calls by those who say you must actually step down?
I think I will study the judgment, and indeed, if this judgment is convincing, or there are elements which then prove to them that I acted in bad faith, and I know I acted in good faith, and it's very clear from all my documentation that this investigation was conducted purely based on that. So I will study the judgment and I will respond comprehensively. Thank you.
We can't take any more questions, unfortunately. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate it.
There you go. That was the Public Protector, Advocate Busisiwe Mkhwebane, reacting to the judgment just handed down a few minutes ago, where the Public Protector's appeal was dismissed at the Constitutional Court. And some of the findings was that the Constitutional Court said that it upholds the High Court findings that the Public Protector acted in bad faith. Now, she did say she wants a chance to study this judgment, but when prompted by a question, she said she never told falsehoods and oath. Let's get some perspective now and speak to Professor Dirk Coetzee. He's a legal analyst, a political analyst. Professor, thank you very much indeed for coming through. Firstly, your reaction to this judgment, the Public Protector's appeal being dismissed. What does this mean for her?
Well, I think one should see it within the context of what happened also last week when she released a report on President Ramaphosa.
It seems that we lost the good professor. We'll try to get him back. But just to remind you where we are at this stage, the Public Protector's appeal has been dismissed at the Constitutional Court. Some are saying it's a pretty scathing findings that were handed down by the Constitutional Court. And some of them was that it upholded the High Court's findings that the Public Protector acted in bad faith. And so the punitive cost order, according to the Constitutional Court, must stand. We do know that the High Court ordered her to pay a portion. I think it was 15% of the total cost. So we're going to get some perspective from Dirk Coetzee, a political analyst, with this regard and other issues. Remember her report that President Cyril Ramaphosa misled Parliament. So we're going to get some reaction on that as well. Professor Dirk Coetzee is back on the line for us. Professor, I was just asking you with regards to these findings, what does this mean for the Public Protector?
Yes, I lost a little bit of contact, unfortunately. Maybe just to conclude the point I made earlier on, and that is that this is for the Public Protector that.
All right, you know what? Let's fix up that line and get a proper line to the professor. We want to get some perspective with regards to this this ruling. And as we were discussing, I was just looking at some social media posts, and some are saying that it's pretty scathing findings against the public protector. What does this mean for her in terms of her ongoing battle, in terms of criticism from certain quarters here in South Africa? We understand that we have Abongile Dumaka, a reporter at the Constitutional Court, who joins us now live. Abongile, thank you very much indeed for coming through. Can you hear me? All right, it seems that Abongile is not there as well. You know what, let's take a quick break. We'll get all our interviews, all our ducks in a row, as they say, and then we'll get some perspective with regards to this very, very important ruling by the Constitutional Court. Stay with us.